How's it rockin', Dween Nation? This is the Dween Sports Podcast. We're about to get underway. But before we do, we'd love if you could like, comment, subscribe, or share. We are posting weekly sports content, and we want to build up the brand that is Dween Sports. Thank you all, and enjoy. Welcome in, Dween Nation. This is your host, Justin Pies, alongside Genoa, Agudelo, and guest Victor Pies is back on the show. Welcome back. Today is a special set of episodes because the NFL schedule is out. And now we got to discuss wins and losses across the entire league. All 544 NFL games will be predicted by us over the next few episodes. We're going to go division by division and starting with the AFC West. But before we dive into all of that, how are we doing, Genoa?
Yo, Dween Nation. Justin, I'm doing good. We are at the start officially of a new season with the schedule out. Free agency's kind of in the back window there. The draft is done. And so we're officially on the road to a new season. And so excited to predict these teams and these division winners.
Yeah, man, because there's been a lot of changes. The draft, of course, free agency, and now kind of the dust is settled with changes to teams. And now we get to kind of just look fully at everybody's schedule. But, Dad, what do you think about everything heading into next season?
It's going to be a great season, especially I know it's talking about fantasy football. We're going to switch from a 10-team league to a 12-team league. So the strategy is going to be a little different. So, yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, and each game, provides something different. Like once we dive into these games, like we got to also realize, like game one here, Chiefs Chargers, it's not in Los Angeles. It's actually in Brazil. And I actually let's take it to the games and predict the AFC West, starting with game one, Chiefs versus Chargers. It's in Brazil, so it's a neutral site game. Dad, I'll start with you. Who do you think would win this game?
It's going to be the Chiefs for sure, I think. And it's going to be probably around by 10 points just because they lost the Super Bowl. They're going to get back on the track, and they rarely lose the first game. So I'm going with the
Genoa.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I definitely agree with him. I definitely like the Chiefs getting that first week victory against the Chargers.
I'm going to agree with y'all. Chiefs starting 1-0 in Brazil. They go week 2 in a Super Bowl rematch with the Philadelphia Eagles. Genoa, do they get back on Philly?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with the home team here. I do believe it's Philly, correct?
No, the home team is the Chiefs on the right side.
Okay, let's go with the Chiefs there since they're the home crowd. I think that last time they played in the regular season, they were in Kansas City. Philly stole away. This time, I think that Kansas City being the home team helps them win it this time around.
Dad?
I agree with them. Kansas City's going to win it again this time around also.
All right, yeah. That usually happens, I feel like, during the big playoff wins, like the Chiefs always beat, the Ravens or the Bills. But then, like, in the regular season, the Bills usually defeat the Chiefs, at least in recent memory. But moving to week 3, Chiefs at New York playing the Russell Wilson probably led Giants. Dad, who do you have for this game?
Going to Chiefs.
Chiefs, all right.
Take the Chiefs.
Yep.
It might be by 20.
All right, we have to go Chiefs, even though I think there's a world in my brain that I could see an upset. A pesky Giants team this year. That's my prediction. They're going to be a tough beat every week. But anyway,
maybe during mid-season, but not
this early on. All right. Well, week 4, we got another matchup, a pretty big rivalry over the last few years. The Ravens head to Kansas City. Genoa, what do we think?
I think this time around, I think Lamar Jackson goes into Arrowhead and knocks off the Chiefs. It's a regular season game. So I'd like Lamar just to get one. I don't think he's ever beaten Mahomes in Arrowhead. I think his victories have only come in Baltimore. And so I definitely think finally Lamar goes in Arrowhead and beats the Chiefs off a weird schedule, right? Because they start off in Brazil and have one home game, and then they have to go to New York. So I think this kind of traveling schedule throws them off, and I think Lamar is able to steal one.
All right, Dad, what do you think?
I was going to go with Baltimore myself. I think Baltimore will be leading most of the game, but this will be a game where Kansas City catches up and passes them in the fourth quarter. Yes, so it'll be Chiefs. I'm going to put it on the Chiefs.
This one's a tough one. And I like that it's split. It gives me a chance to decide which one we're going. But I look at it in the fact that if the Chiefs are able to beat not only the Chargers, but beat the Super Bowl champs, that they're going to be on somewhat of a hot streak. And I think that they're going to win this game against Baltimore. We move to week 5 at Jacksonville, the newly led Liam Cohen Duval Jaguars. Dad, who do you have for this game?
Do I have to say it's going to be Kansas City again? I mean, it's going to be by another 10 plus points. I think they're going to win.
All right. Wow. Genoa?
Yeah, I agree. Chiefs.
Dang. All right. I might be just alone on a lonely island where I think that the Liam Cohen led Jaguars might be a dangerous unit. No, okay. I'm alone right
Mid-season, maybe a little mid-season, but first game, or their first game or their 5th week. What is it? The 5th week?
Yeah, 5th week.
That is mid-season, but no, I think Kansas City still has it.
All right. Well, we move to week 6. They play the Detroit Lions at home. What are we thinking, Genoa?
Yeah, man. Give me the Lions? Question mark. I mean, a couple of seasons ago they went in there, beat them before. I don't know. I like the Lions, and that's only one of the few road teams I like beating Kansas City.
Pops?
I'm going with the Lions also. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think they're hungry and they're going to prove that they can beat. They beat them before, so they'll beat them again. I think it'll be by 7 points, maybe.
All right. Well, I'm actually on the Kansas City side personally, just because I actually do have some worries with Detroit this season, losing both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. I saw the same story happen with the Philadelphia Eagles a couple years ago where they lost both coordinators, but I am outvoted. Lions get the victory here, and the Chiefs dropped their first game, but they host another game in 2 of the 3 games they host in a row against the Raiders. I got Chiefs. I feel like that probably will be accepted across the board.
Yeah.
Kansas City hosting the Vegas Raiders. All right. The next game, though, is an interesting one. They host the Washington Commanders. I'll give it off to Dad. What do you think?
Okay, well, I was going to go the way of the Commanders, but they're playing at home, and Kansas City plays them well. I'm going to go with Kansas City.
All right.
I really do. I love Commanders this second year for Jaden Daniels, but I think Kansas City is going to pull it out.
Man, I think the Commanders, because it's on Monday Night Football, I think the Commanders still win just because it's on Monday Night Football. If it was a regular Sunday afternoon game, I'd take Kansas City. But I think Jaden Daniels there. I mean, this guy's a winner. He can steal those games, especially on prime time. I like the Commanders to steal one, but that's really the remaining teams left. I don't think could beat Kansas City at an Arrowhead.
I'm gonna go with the Commanders as well. I think that is a sneaky play where Jaden Daniels has a shining moment throughout the season to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. So the Chiefs lose that game in Week 8, and then they have to travel to Orchard Park to play the Bills in Bills Mafia. Jano, what do we think here?
I think that might be another loss because Josh Allen's been able to beat Mahomes in the regular season in Arrowhead, So in this past season, he beat Patrick Mahomes, gave him their first loss of the year in Buffalo. So I think it can happen again. I think Josh Allen, the current MVP, I mean, at this point of the season, is looking to prove some things around week 9 and week 10. So definitely give me Buffalo.
All right, Pop.
I agree with Buffalo. I expect the wide receivers in Buffalo are going to have a game against Kansas City.
Yeah, I see this game playing out exactly like it did last year, and the Bills pull it off. Then the Chiefs have a bye, and then they head to Denver to face off against the Broncos. Dad, what do we think here with Bo Nix-led Broncos team?
I'm going to go with Kansas City. I think it's just too much of a team for right now. He's still a young quarterback. Kansas City's defense is going to destroy him.
All right. Janelle, you agree?
I agree. After 2 losses and a bye week, I think that they come out that week 11 energized. They get that victory against Denver.
All right, we're going with Chiefs. That one's very close. I could see it going either way, but I will stick with Chiefs as well. Week 12, they host the Colts. I think I'm going Chiefs, so this one pretty handily. Do we all agree? Chiefs. All right, so Chiefs continue. 2-game win streak off the bye. Then they travel to Jerry World to play the Cowboys. Do the Cowboys have enough to pull off a big win like this, Dad?
I want to go Cowboys. If they have that defense how they started last year,
It's
I know they're
Thanksgiving
at
too.
home.
Oh,
I
it is
know they're at
Thanksgiving.
home, but I think Kansas City's going to pull it out. Somehow Dallas doesn't have that kicker just to, it's going to be Kansas City.
I agree. Chiefs win that one as well.
Chiefs are up. All right, so they are now what is that 9-3, 9-3. To then they host another Texas opponent, facing off the Houston Texans. I'm unfortunately going to go with Kansas City on this one.
Me
The
too.
Chiefs have our number as Houston fans collectively. Does everybody agree?
I was going to go the other way. And the only reason I'm going to I'm going Kansas City because they're playing at home. If it was Texas, Houston at home, and then
Yeah.
pick Houston. But it's Kansas City. They're going to win, even though Houston had them last year and they came back and won at the end. But Kansas City will win this one.
All right, well this is a moment where I want to throw a little fantasy question into the loop here. Us being fantasy guys with this matchup, but also just with season long mainly. Are you more interested in going Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback for your roster or CJ Stroud? Whoever wants to take it, go ahead.
I'll take it first. To be honest with you, I have Patrick Mahomes probably like my eighth or ninth quarterback. I think I would pick CJ Stroud.
Oh wow,
I
okay.
really would. I mean, and I don't know how he's going to. He didn't. He was what, the 12th quarterback last year
Oh,
for
Stroud was much
Mahomes.
lower last year. He didn't
What
have a
was
great
it?
season.
Oh. So I'm going to do CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with actually Mahomes there. I think that this year they have Worthy and Hollywood Brown already healthy with Travis Kelsey and his mate. What could be his last year. If they can get back, Rasheed Rice, we're not sure if he's going to be able to play. They always have some new targets there, and I think that since they lost the Super Bowl, I think that Mahomes is a little bit more hungrier to prove some things, like another MVP. And I think that he's still chasing that goat status. So I actually like Mahomes compared to CJ. Or he has a new offensive coordinator. We're not expecting if it's going to be good or not.
But you
And
have to
then
realize last year when they won all those games by 3 points, 7 points, Mahomes had like 200 yards, one touchdown, one
yeah,
interception. So he wasn't throwing it, and I guess the defense was winning those games, not the quarterback.
yeah,
No, I hear you, and the way I look at it as is, if you look at last year, right, you could say for both of them that they didn't have good fantasy seasons. You would say they were disappointments, but as a disappointing season, Patrick Mahomes ended at the quarterback 10, while CJ Stroud ended at quarterback 18. So Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to go with him as well. I think he is going to come back this season hungry after getting embarrassed in the Super Bowl. But anyway, so they beat the Texans on a 4-game win streak now. Now they host the Chargers. Dad, what do you think is going to happen here?
I will go with Kansas City. Some Chargers still has new players now, players from injuries coming back, so they still have to get on the get go. I'm going Kansas City.
same here.
Same. Awesome. Then we got Chiefs at Tennessee against Cam Ward. This one seems like it's pretty easy. Do you have any upset in mind or no?
Kansas
No,
City.
Kansas
KC,
City.
KC. All right, we're going to keep rolling. They host the Broncos. We had them beating the Broncos on the road, so I'm assuming we're going to have them beating the Broncos at home.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
agree. Okay. And then they end the season at Las Vegas. Any crazy stuff going on? I'm going to go with the Raiders just for the fact that I think with this record in mind, they probably locked up the 1 seed and they're probably going to sit their starters like they did last season.
I'd still think the
I still
backups. Who's the backup quarterback? Is it still
It's
Wentz?
Gardner. It's Gardner Minshew now.
Oh,
Minshew.
Gardner Mitch. Yeah, I think Gardner against his former team pulls off
That's true.
a
His former team.
victory.
now I'm
Yeah,
going with Kansas City. I'm going
All
with
right.
Kansas.
yeah.
Well, we got Kansas City locked in here for a 14-3 record, a phenomenal season for
Mm.
them. And we're going to transition to the Chargers now, who we had them starting off the season losing to the Chiefs. Week 2, though, they go into Las Vegas, into Allegiant Stadium. How are the Chargers going to fare in this one, Genoa?
I think they definitely take the victory for sure in Allegiant Stadium.
All right, Pops.
Yes, I do too. I think San Diego's taking.
All
For sure.
right, so we got the Chargers moving into the next game, Week 3. They host the Broncos. I have Chargers in this one to get the victory over Denver.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. It's going to be a little tough to break away, but I got the Chargers winning this game.
You know what? I'm going with Denver this one.
All right, all right.
Yeah, I
Well,
think they have a better defense. I think they might pull it out here. So I'm
I,
going with Denver.
I just think that the Chargers are going to be legit this year. You know, they really took that step forward. They got the veteran coach, which I know the Broncos also have a veteran coach. But I
Like,
like it, even though two are going to the Chargers. So we go to week 4 now. Chargers are 2-1, and they go to dreaded MetLife Stadium. What do we got here? We got Chargers or Giants?
Chargers. Mm-hmm.
Chargers.
Chargers. All right, agreed. We move to week 5 where they host the Commanders. Jaden Daniels versus Justin Herbert. Dad, what do we got?
I'm going with Commanders.
Ooh, I
Commanders
got Chargers in this one.
I'm going to go Chargers as well. I think the
Oh,
Chargers are going to ball out.
It's a shootout, though. I think it's a shootout.
That'll be a fun game to watch in week 5. Then week 6, though, they traveled to face off against Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa. What do we think, Genoa?
Ah, man, that's a tough one. Give me
that is
Dolphins, but I'll take the home team. I'll take the Dolphins, but man, that is a tough one. Week 6.
I'm going to go. Golly, it is a tough one, and I'd like to know. I think I'm going to go with the home team.
Yeah,
That's a tough one. I don't love
I
the
think
Dolphins.
Herbert will do better than Tua, but I think Miami's going to win.
I like that. That's a pretty good prediction on there. All right, we'll
Mhm.
go Dolphins. Week 6, Chargers. Now we're on to week 7 where they host the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor's led team, Anthony Richardson. Do they have what it takes to upset the Chargers in LA?
Nope, give me the Chargers.
Give me Chargers.
I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm
Wow,
going with the
okay.
Colts.
Surprise. I mean, overall, Chargers win that one. I am interested. What are your thoughts? Are you higher on the Colts this season, Dad? Is that why, or you just think it's a good matchup?
As long as they stay healthy, I am more. I think they're going to win at least 2 more games than they did last year. So
Okay,
Yeah.
and that is with the thought that Anthony Richardson is probably their starting quarterback over Daniel Jones.
right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got Chargers beating Colts. Then they get another home game where they host the Minnesota Vikings. JJ McCarthy versus Justin Herbert. What do we got, Dad?
I'm going Minnesota. I think Minnesota's going to take it. I know it's his first game coming back from that injury, but I'm going to go with you can't stop JJ, so I'm going with
the
Minnesota.
Vikings.
I'll go
Okay.
with the Chargers.
I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. I think it's a tough game for Minnesota, even though Minnesota I do like this season a lot. But okay, we got Chargers. Then Chargers go on the road to face off against the Titans in week 9. What are we thinking here for LA and Tennessee?
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Okay,
as well.
I'll go with the Chargers as well.
Chargers it is. So the Chargers are on a roll. They only have lost they lost 3 games thus far. They're 7-3, and now they host the Steelers, which obviously is up in the air. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be quarterback. I'm assuming he is. Regardless, I'll go Chargers. What do you think, Genoa?
Chargers for sure. I'm not a fan of the
Even if
Steelers.
he is quarterback for the Jets, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Chargers going to take it.
And I think this will be for sure. I can put some money that Mike Tomlin will have his first losing season this season. I just don't like what they got going on in Pittsburgh. But we'll get to Pittsburgh when we get there. Moving to the next game, though, we got Chargers at Jaguars, where there's some history here. A recent playoff matchup a couple of years ago where the Chargers dropped a deuce after being up big, and the Jaguars came back and won. Is that going to be similar in this game? What do we got, Genoa?
I think so. Give me the Jags this game. If Travis Hunter is a wide receiver at this point in time, I think he goes over 126, probably about 2 touchdowns.
All right.
I'm going also with the Jaguars.
I also the Jaguars. I'm pretty high on them so far in this offseason. So the Chargers then hit their bye week, and they head into week 13 home against the Raiders, where I think I got Chargers in this one pretty easily.
I got Chargers also.
Yep.
Chargers it is. Now this is going to be a good matchup. The Philadelphia Eagles head to Los Angeles to play against the Chargers. Dad, what do we have here?
Okay, Eagles. I'm not an Eagles fan, but the Eagles are going to take that.
Are the Eagles flying?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right, the
Monday
Eagles
night.
will win. I agree. I like that a lot. Then we had, after discussing the Chiefs game, we had the Chiefs beating the Chargers there. So we moved to week 16 where the Chargers go into Dallas to face off against Dak Prescott. What do we got, Genoa?
Give me the Cowboys. I think Dak Prescott has a big time fourth quarter, and he wins that game.
Give me the Cowboys also. They're going to take this one.
All right, Dallas gets on the board here with the victory. And we move to week 17 where they go back to back against Texas teams, but they host the Houston Texans. Dad, what do we got?
Give me the Texans. I think they're going to take this one. I
Give
think
me,
so.
give me my Texans. My Texans
All
all day,
right.
baby.
Wow. I would have gone Chargers, even though the Texans did kind of, beat them up pretty good in the playoffs. But we go Texans here, wins. And then week 18, Chargers head to Denver. This is a tough one, man. I mean, the Chargers are right now on a current, 4-game skid. They're at 9-7. His playoff hopes are on the line. What do we got here, Genoa?
Denver's a tough home crowd there to play there against with their starters in or not. Still give me the Broncos.
Give me the Broncos, man. They connected with Sutton and Bo Nix. Give me the Broncos.
I'm going to go with Broncos as well, and that ends the Chargers' 9-8 season, which is probably underwhelming due to from expectations for them. But we will continue through, moving to the Broncos, who just beat the Chargers in our predictions. But they start their season, if we go back, and they host the Tennessee Titans, where I think they get a great, easy Week 1 victory. Broncos over Tennessee. Is that agreed?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
still going to be a good game though.
That's going to be a good,
Get Cam.
Yeah, because they have nothing to lose, so they're going to go out and try to beat them. But
No, I think that's like my favorite Week 1 fantasy defense for those who are interested.
Yeah.
Week
Oh,
1
really?
playing against a rookie at home. Give me Broncos defense all day. I know it's not going to be a secret for much longer. That's why I thought easy to share. But week 2, Denver heads into Indianapolis. What do we got, Genoa?
Man, I'm gonna go with the Colts here. Actually, getting a tough victory. This is gonna be a low-scoring game that they pull out like 10-6.
I'm going with the Colts too and give it to Taylor. I think he's gonna, even though Denver has a good defense, as long as he's healthy, he'll have a good game. Taylor.
I'm going to go with the Colts as well, and I literally want to attribute it to last year's game, which it hurts me more because I had him on my team, but this is the game where Jonathan Taylor decided to fumble at the 1-yard line, running into the end zone, and that really changed the whole dynamic of the football game. Maybe the Colts are going to come back with some bit of vengeance, and they win there. Denver then has to go on the road, play Los Angeles. They lose, but then they host the Cincinnati Bengals. Big game. What do we got, Genoa, in this one?
I'm gonna go with Denver. I think this is a game where Joe Burrow's gonna have a tough time getting some blocking from his offensive line. I think that Denver can take advantage.
I'm towards Denver because Cincinnati has a bad defense unless they improved it. But you can't stop Jamar Chase, and when they're hooking up together, I'm going to go with the Bengals.
All right, wow.
Surtain versus Jamar. That game is also easy to know.
That's gonna be good. Jamar versus Pat Surtain. I mean, we saw this last year. It was a great game. Wow, this is a tough one. It's on Monday Night Football too, so Spotlight is on.
They got Higgins. Now they got Gesicki.
I mean,
they got Chase Brown. I mean, and he can catch. So even if they shut down Jamar Chase, they're not going to shut down everybody.
I just think the fact that the Bengals have not really improved that defense at all, and they didn't improve the offensive line. What they really did this offseason was re-sign their 2 wide receivers, which is great. But I think it's kind of going to be the same team that they roll out. So I'm going to go with Denver. But then after this big win that Denver pulls off, they head to Philadelphia, where I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning at home.
At the Eagles, yeah.
Eagles are right.
So it's hard to beat the Birds at home.
I agree with that statement there. Week 6, though, the Denver Broncos are still on the road. They go play the Jets. Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. Do they have a chance, Dad?
No, it's going to be Denver. Denver's going to win this one.
I'm actually going to take the Jets. I think the Broncos have a nasty road game.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
We need to keep everything who picked 2 so we know that
we can roll back to this. That's why it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay,
but this is tough because I could see it. I could see a big Breece Hall game for some reason. I feel like that would be golden. But I just think that I'm gonna go with Denver. But I agree. That's a tough game. That's a trap game because Denver's got, I guess the Cowboys in a couple weeks. But I think they pull this one off. Now the next week 7, they play another New York team where they host the Giants. I got Denver in this one.
I got Denver too in this one.
Denver as well. Cool. Now they host the Dallas Cowboys. Dad, you're a Dallas fan. What do they have the? Are they going to
They're
win?
playing in Denver, and I'm trying to. I'm going to go with Dallas. I think I'm going to go with Dallas.
All
I
right.
got
I'm gonna go with Denver. I think that Dak's actually gonna struggle in this matchup.
Yeah, that's a tough. It's a tough place to play.
And it's hard because they don't have a running back. They're all new again and playing on a new team. So it
Hey,
could go Denver way, but I'm going to go with Dallas. I'm sticking with Dallas.
Javonte Williams revenge game up in here.
Oh,
Maybe.
that's
Hey,
right.
that's right.
That's
That's
right.
true. That's true. There you
That'd
go.
be something. I'm gonna go Denver though. As much as maybe
I'm glad you didn't say Sanders because he's awful.
no, not Miles Sanders sucks. Yeah. Well, okay. So Denver pulls off 2 wins in a row, or 3 wins in a row, and now they have to travel to Houston to play the Texans. What do we got, Genoa?
Ah man, I'm gonna go with the Broncos on this one.
No.
Wow. All right,
I'm
Pops.
going to go with Houston. They play at home. They play well. I mean, they had Kansas City. They had all these other teams, and they just lose it by the very. But now they got Nico. They got a couple of new receivers. They got Mixon. I think he's going to pull it out. He had a bad second year, so Stroud's going to pull it out, I think.
I like it. I'm gonna go with Houston as well to get the victory. Week 10, they host the Raiders. What do we got, Genoa?
Yeah, give me the Broncos on this one for sure.
Yeah,
Dad?
Broncos.
Yeah. All right. Broncos across the board. Easy one. Week 11, we have them losing to the Chiefs. Then they head to week 12, their bye week, and they come out and they go to Washington to play Jaden Daniels. Dad, what do we got?
It's going to be the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to take this one.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is going to have a fantastic game. I think at this point in the season, he's going to be in the MVP conversation. So for sure, give me the Commanders.
I like it. I agree. Commanders get the victory there. Denver then travels to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. What do we got, Genoa?
I think Denver gets a good bounce back game there.
Yes, Denver.
All right. I think I have a few teams this season that I think are going to be like pesky every week, scrappy rosters, and that's like the Giants, the Raiders, and probably the Jaguars. So I would have the Raiders in this one, but majority rules. Denver gets the victory. Now
Wow.
Denver hosts the Green Bay Packers. Josh Jacobs led, Jordan Love led. What do we got here, Dad?
This is a harder one for me. Love just did me wrong last year, and they're playing in Denver. I'm going with Denver. I think maybe Jacobs will have a good game, but Denver's going to take it, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Denver.
I actually think Jordan Love struggles in this game.
Yeah.
All
He
right.
struggles
All right.
away. He's just been.
I agree. Now I'm gonna quick pause to sprinkle a little bit more fantasy questions in here. Pose it to both of y'all. It's another quarterback question, so you kind of see where I'm going this season coming up. Do you want Bo Nix on your roster? Or do you want Jordan Love on your roster?
Anyone can answer?
Go ahead.
I'll go Jordan Love because they drafted Matt Golden first round out of Texas, so that gives him another wide receiver for him to throw to. Plus, I like Tyler Kraft. But Bo Nix isn't bad. I just still not a fan of his targets.
Yeah. And I think that now if all the receivers are healthy, because I think every receiver on Green Bay last year was hurt.
They always get hurt.
I'm going to go with Love, too.
All right. I would go with Bo Nix, but I like what you guys are talking about. Now Bo Nix does get the win here with Denver, and now we got Week 16. They host the Jaguars, where I also have Denver winning this football game.
I do too. I
Yeah,
think.
me too.
All right, so Denver gets the victory.
This will be a closer game, I think. But
yeah, I agree. That will be a good game. Week 17, though, we have them losing to the Chiefs, but then bouncing back, winning against the Chargers, ending their season at 10-7, 1 game ahead of the Chargers. And we got one more team in this division, which haven't done well in any of the games. They lost all division games. Let's see how they do elsewhere. Where week 1, they go to New England, play the Patriots. Dad, what do we got?
I kind of secretly like the Patriots this year. I think Drake May, Stevens is going to bounce back as long as he stays healthy, and they got some receivers going on there. The defense is not bad. I'm going with New England. They're playing at home, so I think New England's going to take this.
All right,
Yeah, I couldn't agree with him more. I like the Patriots did that week 1, and I like them the whole year. You get Drake May a target, you get him an offensive lineman, you got a nice running back there with Stevenson. They have a defense with Vrabel, who's a nice head coach. He's got a lot of experience. I like the Patriots this year, even though we're talking about the Raiders.
No, I love what we're talking about because I am all on board with what you're saying. Every year there's an NFL team that goes worst in division to either first in the division, which might be crazy, but at least playoff berth. And I think the Patriots have that all labeled right for them. So I agree there. Patriots win week 1. Then in week 2, we have the Chargers beating the Raiders in week 2. Week 3, the Raiders travel to Washington to play the Commanders, where I think this is an easy Commanders W.
Definitely.
Across the board, we agree. So I will put that on. We move to the next game.
Commanders have a fun schedule, man.
Yeah, the
Trap
Raiders.
Jaden Daniels this year, man.
Yeah, they have some good games on the shootout games too, and not just yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Week 4 though, Chicago heads to Vegas. Caleb Williams versus Ashton Genty. What do we got, Dad?
Man, I'm veering to Raiders because they're playing at home, but Fields is going to be a better quarterback this. I mean, Caleb's Williams is going to be a better player this year. So I'm going to try the Bears. I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm giving a little.
All right,
I think I like the Raiders. I like the Raiders.
Really?
I think this is the game, week 4, where Genty breaks out. I think the first couple of weeks of the season, he struggles a little bit. We've seen that with Bijan his rookie year and Najee's rookie year, where you kind of wait for them. You're all excited, but they're not doing good. This is the week that Genty breaks out, week 4, for the Raiders to win.
I like that. I agree with you there. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think that is one of Ashton Genty's breakout games because I think weeks 1 and 2 might be a little tough out the gates. Week 3 maybe, but week 4 will be good for them or for him. Week 5 though, the Raiders head to the Colts. What do we got, Genoa?
Give me the Colts. Let me give you the Colts with JT over 130 yards rushing.
Oh wow, that's big.
I'm going with the Colts also.
Yeah, Colts across the board. We move to the next game where the Raiders host the Titans. I got the Raiders in this one pretty handily.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Ah, man, you know what? Give me Cam Ward to steal one on the road. I like Cam Ward in Tennessee, man.
All right, well, he's got 1 vote for Cam Ward, but we have 2 for the Raiders, and the Raiders get it there. Week 7, we have the Raiders losing to the Chiefs in Arrowhead before going on their bye week. Then week 9, they host the Jaguars. I think this is going to be a great game versus, Travis Hunter versus Ashton Genty, the 2 Heisman finalists in this last season of college football. Genoa, what do you got?
Give me Trevor Lawrence having a monster game. Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter go off. Give me the Jags.
Dad?
Man, this is going to be a close game. It was the other way where Jaguars were at home. But I'm going to go with the Jags too, just because I think, they're going to be having a losing record by the 9th week, so they're going to just go all out and beat them, I think.
Damn, okay. I have the Raiders. I feel like maybe it's just like the world or maybe, the NFL's script is just like there's always some sort of retribution, and not that they're enemies of sorts, but, Travis Hunter got the upper hand with the Heisman, trophy, and Ashton might, get the upper hand with, winning of their first encounter in the NFL. But regardless, Jacksonville wins here. Then we got the Raiders headed to Denver where they lose that game, and then they host the Dallas Cowboys, a team where Ashton Genty was talking about wanting to play for. He doesn't get drafted there, obviously. What do we got? Monday Night Football, Dad.
Cowboys, give my Cowboys, baby.
Cowboys,
as long as that defense stays healthy, they got it. Everyone's just started falling apart towards the mid of the season last year, but Cowboys are going to take anything.
Yeah, Micah forced fumble for a touchdown in this game.
Oh, okay. I actually also have the Raiders in this one, where I think Ashton Genty is. I think he's going to be the story of the league for a little while. But unfortunately, I'm outvoted, and the Raiders lose to the Cowboys. But week 12, the Raiders host the Browns. What do we got, Genoa?
I think the Raiders get this one. I think it's just we don't know who's going to be. I think Dylan Gabriel's a starter this game. I don't know why I'm being told, but he didn't. So I think the Raiders win this one.
Yeah, but even if he's a starter, they're not. Yeah, it's going to be Oakland.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's
Las Vegas. I'm still with Oakland. Las Vegas. Yes.
I was going to say, I think at some point this year, we know who the best quarterback in college football is. So maybe the Raiders, Justin, are kind of starting to, tank a little bit. Because maybe them or the Saints, them or the Saints are looking at a certain quarterback that might be a Heisman Trophy candidate at this point. Not saying it's Arch or, maybe it could be another quarterback that we're not really familiar with right now.
Yeah, I have the Raiders winning this one. I think that I don't I have different thoughts over the Raiders. I think they're going to be more functional than they have been in the past. I think
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gino is although he's not franchise quarterback material, he is an upgrade from last year with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner. I think that the Raiders are going to be a little bit more interesting than we think. But I think they definitely win here in Week 12 before losing though to the Chargers and then the Broncos in Week 13 and 14. Then traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles, where they're going to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
All right, so I'll click that one. But what about Week 16 with the Texans? We also think that's a
I,
easy Texans victory.
I
Go
think so.
Texans.
Yep.
But
All right. Bam, bam. And then Week 17, the Raiders hosting the Giants. Probably two of the lowest lowest records in the league, with the Giants not being a great team either. But what do we have here with the Raiders hosting the Giants? No.
I think the Raiders win this one. Actually, I think they can steal this one out if it's Jameis or Russell playing, or even if it's Jackson Dart. I think that they have a shot at stealing this one.
yes,
All
I
right.
agree. I think the Raiders are taking it.
Raiders. All right, I have Raiders as well to get the victory there, and the Raiders would then end their season at 4-13, a underwhelming season for the first year with Pete Carroll. But that is the AFC West with the Chiefs on top, 14-3. Then the Broncos at 10-7, the Los Angeles Chargers at 9-8, and the Las Vegas Raiders at 4-13. That is just one division of 8 that we are going to dive into, but we will do that on the next episode. So thank you guys for listening. Dad, thank you for joining. We hope to have you on the next one or some
Definitely.
soon. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, we'll keep you around, of course. You're doing great. But thanks, guys, for listening. And Genoa, send us out.
Yo, Doing Nation, this was our AFC West predictions here for the season upcoming. We're so excited for the season to kick off. Keep watching it with us. Keep sticking with us. We have so much stuff to post. We love you guys. And as always,
Peace.
Peace.